Venom here. I'm just here to show you the build for Brightstone dungeon, so you can solo and make yourself some cash. These are my stats. They're pretty decent. It's not necessary to have good stats. It just means that I go through the instance faster because I kill things faster. It's still very doable. It just means you have to stealth more. Um, I was doing this with the True Profane, so now I'm using a Awakened Siren Dagger. So in most cases, you guys will be fine. So let me show you the build, and I will explain it as I go. So Spinal Tap 3, because you need it, because it'll reset your, or it'll decrease your cooldown of Shadow Drain by 6 seconds, and it doesn't bring you out of stealth, so that's necessary. Heart Stab is your cookie cutter. Right click, Venom Pierce. Obviously that doesn't bring you out of stealth either. Lightning Pierce, F. So before I move on from here, in case you guys didn't know, what you want to do is hold your F button as you right click, and while you're holding your F button, your F, so Lightning Pierce will always go off whenever it procs. So you don't have to press F as well. You can just, all you have to do is hold it, and it'll automatically use the skill by itself. I bind my F button to my mouse, so that leaves my left hand free to do everything else with whatever skills I need to use. But it's definitely very helpful, so you should definitely try that. Let's see here. So stealth 1, just so you can break out of stuff. You can do stealth 2 as well. It's not too necessary. If you're struggling with the first boss, first mini boss, because they're grabbing you or etc., then stealth 2 will help you break out of that. Shadow Dash, obviously, for a lower cooldown. Shadow Drain, very necessary. This is on a poison enemy. You stealth for 6 seconds, so it's very useful. I will explain more of that later. Let's see here. Swift Step 2, so that if you're ever in a lot of trouble or you don't know your rotation too well, this is your getaway button. You can use it and it'll put you back into stealth when you're in stealth. Choke Bomb, this really is up to you guys. However, I prefer the Choke Bomb because you're throwing a grenade essentially. It's a bomb. So stacks 5 poison. It's great. Some people might use Poison Breath. I don't like it too much. Lightning Rod, obviously your cookie cutter for your number 4. So usually, while you're holding F and right clicking, Lightning Rod will come in between those skills from time to time when you need like more focus or chi. Set Landmine, I usually have it on the poison one, stacks 1 poison, because you can use it while in stealth as well, so you can stack another poison onto your target, allowing you to use Shadow Drain again so that you re-stealth. It's very, very useful. Smokescreen 3, so that it's not necessary, but it's very useful for people who are just starting out, because it allows you to, if you mess up your rotation or something, it allows you to re-stealth yourself, or if you're just trying to get away from like the NPCs or the mobs in the dungeon, it's great. Sneak attack 0. However, X sneak attack when you're in stealth. I don't know. Not sneak attack. My bad. I'm talking about throwing dagger. When you're in stealth, throwing dagger. Just so you guys know, it stacks the poison as well. I did not know that until just the other day because I was a noob. But it allows you to re-stealth as well. So you could do, essentially what you do is you switch between throwing dagger and set landmine while in stealth. And then while you're doing that, so say for example, one rotation you'll use Throwing Dagger to set a poison on them, and then you'll use your Shadow Drain, and you'll re-stealth. You combo, you SS, and then you Shadow Dash back into stealth, and then you start your rotation again, and then except this time instead of using Throwing Dagger, you use Landmine, and then you put another poison on them, and then you just use your Shadow Drain again, and then you'll re-stealth, and you just do that back and forth, rinse and repeat, and you will essentially perma-stealth and just fly through the dungeon. And Lotus Fairy, this isn't necessary either. However, for newer people, it's also very forgiving to use because it's essentially it says 1 second. However, it feels like it's like a 3 second iframe skill. So when you're using it, you're immune to damage and everything else. So essentially, it's a oh shit button. So feel free to use that. That's pretty much it. I will explain more things in the run here. So. Alright, so here we go. Essentially, you just want to stealth past everything. Less trouble. Engage onto this guy. Sometimes these minions or these mobs jump on to the boss. Sometimes they don't. Not too sure. So essentially, this rotation you see, it's pretty much you just have to figure out the rotation on how to stay in stealth the whole entire time. The rotation that I was trying to give you at the beginning of the video, that's the rotation that you can use. You gotta remember though, your left mouse button in this build, it lowers your cooldown on your Shadow Drain, which keeps you in stealth. So it's essentially you just have to learn the build. You just have to learn the rotation. I struggled quite a bit when I first started doing this, so it's pretty difficult. And if you struggle with the first mini boss and the second mini boss, don't feel bad. Those are actually harder than the last boss itself, in my opinion. Let's see here. Get this guy. It's the dungeon itself is pretty simple. First boss isn't too bad. The second boss is actually a lot more difficult because he has these stupid assassins that spawn, and if you come out of stealth at all, those assassins will pretty much wreak havoc on your face. Essentially, here you saw me drop a landmine. You don't have to do that. If you pull aggro from those mobs in that tunnel, you could just run up and shadow dash to any of these mobs. I'm not talking about the boss itself, but the mobs on the outside, and just run around and just keep on shadow dashing to them, and you'll lose aggro, and you can just sit back and heal up if you need to heal. So essentially, same combo. You see here one of the assassins spawned. You just need to know that if you fall out of stealth, you have other options to go back into stealth. You can move your crosshair to any of the outside mobs, the guys with the guns, the rifles. You can tab and you can shadow dash, and it'll put you back into stealth. So here you'll see me do it just now, and then obviously you have your smoke bomb if you need it. There's also one thing you need to know also is that if those assassins hit you and then knock you up or something, chances are you might die. If not, just make sure you spam your tab as fast as possible, your stealth, and you'll resist a lot of the damage and you'll be put back into stealth. Here, just make sure you stick on the left side there, shadow dash to that guy. You'll get past them every single time. And just clear these two mobs. But yeah, it's the second boss is pretty difficult. I mean, it's not any more, I wouldn't say it's any more difficult than the first boss, but the second boss itself just has those stupid assassins that are pretty much a pain in the ass, and you gotta deal with those guys. But once you figure out the rotation, everything goes pretty smooth. I think I did this run in, I want to say 8 minutes and like 30 seconds or something. 9 minutes. That's my cat. Here you go. So you'll see these soul stone cores, and I'll explain something to you in a little bit here. Essentially, same combo against these bosses. These guys are a lot easier because you don't have any ads or NPCs or mobs attacking you other than the soulstone cores. Once you get this guy down to 75%, he'll start jumping on you. You don't. Let's see here. He jumps on you 4 times, so it's not too crazy. Here's 1, 2, and you'll see me. I'm running to this corner, and there's a reason why I'm running to this corner. You'll see in a little bit here. Essentially, it's an easier fight here, and I only have 25k HP, and that's another reason why I do. So here you go. You don't want to get too close to that blue wall, by the way, because it'll knock you back. But stay close enough so that as soon as the blue wall comes down, you can just throw a nade and just, as it called, hook kick, and just go back into stealth. And then just use your typical rotation. Here he tries to AoE, just move out of it. So you see these soulstone cores attacking you. If you go into this corner right here behind this pillar, you see this? It doesn't damage you. It doesn't hurt you at all. And speaking of which, the dragon blood. Oh well, let's see. I'm doing this. Okay, I screwed up on that a little bit, but so the dragon blood. If you're new, you may want to grab a few dragon bloods. You could try 1, but 2 might be pretty useful because this Emerald Lord, from time to time he'll roll, and if you get caught up in it, it's guaranteed your health bar is gone. And then if you don't have dragon blood, then you're pretty much dead. So 50% he starts jumping, and you don't have to do anything too fancy. You can just run out of it. It's a slow jump, so I kind of just run around circles and just go back into this corner, avoid any of the damage. I mean, if you're using like moon water, like soul shields, you should be fine in most cases. Just like I said, I have 25k HP, so your typical rotation. He's gonna jump, go back into stealth, and he's invulnerable, and AoE, go back into this corner, evade all that damage. Essentially, this might look more difficult than it actually is, but it's pretty simple. So poison, and usually that's what you want to do. You want to turn them that way and then go behind them, because it gives you more space in this back area. Here I kind of screw up, but it should be fine. You see, I came out of stealth, but I had the smoke bomb to put me back into stealth. It's like I said, it's very forgiving. It allows you to learn how to use this rotation correctly. If you screw up, there's other skills to help you get back into stealth. Kill that guy. This guy's still invulnerable. Hit him a couple times if you need to. Get some focus or some chi. Not necessary. And then, you know, your typical rotation. I would just also like to mention that when you're fighting these bosses, just remember you have your C skill, which allows you to iframe. You become immune, and you resist damage when you're in that animation. So if you're ever in deep, deep shit, I suppose, feel free to use it. It'll help you. Or sometimes these guys will jump and you accidentally SS. Um, just press C and you will avoid all that damage. And that's pretty much it right there. And I guess what I should say is you shouldn't expect a perfect run every single time. It's very hard to do a perfect run. It's not easy by any means. You'll mess up. You won't always be in stealth, but it'll help you out a lot. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will try to answer them. Alright, take it easy, and I hope this video has helped you all. Peace.